Well, bad news. I threw a rod. Actually, I threw two rods. No, not in that. In my compressor. There's my pistons. There's my crank. The rod journal's got a little buildup on it. And there's my rods down there in the bottom. And a nice little pile down there. Well, as I said over on Instagram a little bit ago, I just had some supper and I decided to come out here and crank up the music and do some cutting and grinding and welding and spitting and scratching and just, you know, generally having a good time. Well, what I think I'm going to do tonight is work on this tonneau cover a little bit. I'm going to be able to cover starting about here, it goes across and covers up some of this ugly, and yeah, that's a temporary puke tank there. My real one is sitting over there. But anyway, got some ugly here that I need to take out. I've got this stuff that goes around on this lip here on the edge. Just kind of finishes it out, gives it kind of a finished look. I've got all these kinks here. There's one that jogs over that way, two goes that way, three goes that way, and four goes that way. And I'm going to get rid of that. I think I'm going to cut that out. And I might cap this, although it'll be covered. But I think I'm going to cut all this out and make a piece that comes from here and goes straight over and runs somewhere out here into this one, and that'll look a whole lot better. So I think I'll get started on that. Okay, I've got the music cranked in the shop, and YouTube doesn't like my music, so I'm going to narrate this. But you can see here I'm just getting rid of that ugly corner piece. I'm going to trim that out. That took quite a while, but it goes fast in the video, doesn't it? Now I've got a piece of round stock here that I'm going to lay up there. That'll help me get my radius just right. That piece is just a little bit too long, but we got a quick remedy for that. Zip. Okay, that piece is just right. Now I'll lay that on there and get my radius, and so I have a nice gentle curve, and that is just right. And I got to mark that so I know where to come into the curve, and then that section I'll take out and I'll cut a new piece to go in there. And I'm going to measure that and then go over to the other side and do the same thing and mark it, and I'll cut that, and then everything in between will be taken out. It took a bit of grinding, but I cut that 13-inch section out and then I grind it down smooth. Get rid of all the ugly. Now that package tray is a little high in the center, so I'm going to cut some relief cuts in that, make some relief cuts, and that way I can hit it in the center and knock it down where it's too high. I've got a relief cut on each side, and I'm going to bend that center piece up so that it clears the outside pieces. That way when I knock the center down, bam, that's how we do that. And then I'll just tap. I'm just looking for clearance here. I'm not looking for level. A little bit more, and there we go. I'll tap those corners back down, and I'll tack weld them back together. Nothing too fancy. It's a rat rod. And my tonneau cover will lay over that. Now it'll lay in there nice and smooth. I got to clean up a little piece of metal that I'm going to use for my replacement strips. Or my transition strips, I guess. Yeah, that looks good. That's just right. Clean up the ends so I have a nice square end on it to weld into place. Let's see where we're at. Bingo. that'll work. Alright, now I'm going to set a straight edge up there and rip a strip off of there. Actually, I'll rip 2 strips. There's the first one. Zip. That's how it's done. Man, that plasma cutter's handy. And that air vise is too. I use that every time I'm working on the rat rod. I use that air vise. Mark the next piece. Get her just ever so. So we're cutting on the line. Mark that in. And here we go. Okay. That's the end of that. Just get rid of that and pick up my pieces. And then I can start cleaning them up and make them, get the rough edges knocked down and get them clean enough so I can tack weld them. Alright, there we have it. Let's go fit them up. Now I left them a little bit long and a little bit too wide so that I can fit them up real nice. But first we've got to get that radius in it. So it takes just a little bit of massaging. Let's see, yeah, a little bit more right there on that end. Now it's starting to come into that curve real nice. This camera angle doesn't show that very well, but looking down on it, it's a real gentle curve. I just got to knock the rust off there so I have a place to weld. I'll put a few tacks on it. I've left it a little bit long, so I'm going to mark that, trim it off, and the shears kind of left a little bit of a bend on it, so we'll just straighten that out real quick, tap it out. Okay, let's set it in place. Yeah, that looks good. Let's tack her in. Got just a little final trim to do to make it fit just ever so. I'll just do that with a little cutoff wheel. Alright, we've got her in place. That front part is vertical, so I'll hold it up straight against that one, tack it into place. Okay, got that in to fit up real nice. Now this one I'll have to bend it over a little bit, but I'll tack the bottom, then bend the top over, and go ahead and weld it in. Now I'm going to put a couple of tacks on the outside just to hold it into place. Keep our nice radius. There we go. It's starting to look pretty good. Now, I've got to grind that down. It's much lower on the back side than it is on top, or on the front side rather. And I've got to knock that high spot down the center. It takes a little bit more work on the back end, but just a little bit of grinding. It's going to be pretty nice. Yeah, that's starting to look pretty good. That's what I want. Now this piece came off the front. It's got some kinks in it. I've got to order a full piece to go all the way around. I don't have any long enough. I'll straighten the kinks out of that where it's kind of been formed on that front piece where it used to live. Get it straightened up and start laying it on there. Just tap it on. I suppose when I do this at the end I'll glue that. Right now it's just a test fit. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's take a look and see what we got. A little bit high right there. Well, actually it's a little loose. I had to pinch it together a little bit, but now it's on there nice and I can see what I got. Let's take a look here. It's just it's higher up there. That's a higher there than it is back there. It's a shorter piece, so gonna have to grind it down just a little more to make my transposition nice and smooth, but that's enough for now. I've got the other side done. Let's call it quits, and thank you for watching. Appreciate you. See you next time.